Hey everybody, it's Lauren, and I am doing my very first Facebook Live on here. So anyway, it's a little nerve-wracking. Today I wanted to talk to you on Detox Tuesday about some of the ingredients in our SP Detox product and why they're there, and the 3 phases of detoxification. So my newsletter went out last week, which hopefully you received, that talked a little bit about, like what is metabolic detoxification, and the 3 phases I touched on very lightly. So I'm going to touch on those a little bit more today. And as time goes on, I'm sure we'll dive into those more and more. But today I want to talk about some of the ingredients that you're going to find in the SP Detox Balance powder and why they're there. So let's start with just phase 1. So phase 1 of detoxification is the bioactivation phase. And this is when we are mobilizing toxins that are stored in the body. A lot of toxins are stored in places like in fat cells. And so this is when we're pulling the toxins out of hiding, so we can mobilize them in order to continue along with our detoxification phases. So what activates this process are an enzyme family called CYP450. So these enzymes support the process of pulling the toxins out, of helping reduce the the toxins that they then create, because this is actually kind of a messy process. So sometimes the toxins that we pull out of hiding can then become more, they're actually like worse in that phase than they may have been initially to the body. And so these enzymes also help reduce that kind of extra burden. And they're primarily actually known, this family of, they're called super enzymes, are primarily known for their phase 1 detoxification of things like pharmaceuticals, so that you may have heard of them in that. So the important thing to note is that we need to activate these enzymes, and what we need, what can help turn that on, that process, are cruciferous vegetables. So we all know and love our cruciferous veggies, I'm sure. Some may not, but things like broccoli and radish and Brussels sprouts are what we're going to be looking for to help activate this family of enzymes. So if we look at our SP Detox Balance label, and it's very small print, and so I have put a request in for them to increase the font on these. But you will find we have our radish, our very favorite Spanish black radish is in here. We also have broccoli in here. And so these aren't the only things that are going to be useful in this phase of detoxification, but they're really specific in activating that family of enzymes. So again, bioactivation phase 1 is the mobilization, so we can pull those enzymes out, or pull those toxins out, so we can go on to phase 2. Now, phase 2 is conjugation. And so this is turning those toxins that we just pulled out of hiding into a form that we can flush from the body, right? So I like to think of it and explain it to people as phase 1 is like going around the house and collecting all the garbage, right? Phase 2 is packaging it in the trash bags so that the trash collector can haul it away, okay? So very easy way to explain it. So the conjugation phase is making this something we can remove. So we make them, the body makes it water soluble. And this happens also with enzymes and abundance of cofactors. But amino acids are crucial in phase 2 detoxification. Our amino acids are things like creatine, arginine, cysteine, glutamine, glycine, taurine, all our enes, right? Those are all of our amino acids. And that is where this is the phase where they're going to really shine with what they do. So we have to make sure that we have plenty of amino acids in our body. I'm going to focus on 3 of the amino acids right now for today's purpose, although there's so much to be said about amino acids. But let's look at creatine. So creatine is something that actually every single day our body excretes in the form of creatinine, and we excrete it through our urine. So we replenish our stores of creatine either by diet or by synthesis of 2 other amino acids, which are glycine or arginine. And so in order to replenish the stores in our diet, we would need to be eating primarily and mainly they're found in red meats. So vegans and vegetarians and people who don't consume very many meat proteins or red meat specifically are going to really want to make sure that they're getting them in somehow. And so, for example, somebody with low creatine levels is going to equate to low ability to detoxify, right? It's directly linked. Our ability to detoxify with the tools that we need to do this. So getting the right amount of creatine, arginine, and glycine, because remember, arginine and glycine can be converted to create creatine for the body to do phase 2 detoxification. So again, back to our label, you'll see on the label, we've got all 3 of those amino acids in really good amounts listed here. For 2 scoops, we've got the arginine, glycine, creatine, and then we also have a bunch of other amino acids listed here. So this is really going to help with phase 2 detoxification. So it's all right here. Like when I said detox in a tub, I meant detox in a tub. And so that brings us to phase 3 elimination. And so this is, the process in which we're now taking those toxins that are neatly packaged up and ready for disposal. We're collecting them into the trash can and hauling them away, right? So the trash collector's coming and taking them out of the body. Now we have 2 places that we have trash collectors. So one is, we clear toxins through the kidneys and out through the urine, where the other is we clear toxins via the bile, and it's excreted with the feces. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to support, the kidneys and bile production, but really I want to focus on diet in this phase of elimination. So a few key things that we need to really keep phase 3 moving is, one is water. So water. And it's really important. I mean, every single cell needs water. And now we need even more because we're flushing, and we want to make sure we keep our kidneys, moving really well. And we want to get all of those toxins out of the body. So we're doing lots and lots of water every day. We also need fiber. So fiber is super important. And again, on the label, you'll see we get 4 grams of fiber per 2 scoops of the SP Detox Balance, which is really awesome. And you're going to get that either ×1, ×2, or ×3, depending on which day you're on in the detox program. And also diet. So diet is really important for detoxification as well. Not only are we reducing the amount of toxins coming into the body, right, by choosing good organic foods and whole foods and unprocessed foods and foods that don't contain additives and preservatives, right? But also, if we focus on a really abundant amount of vegetables in our diet during detoxification, we are just helping that process along even more. And so, focusing on alkalizing foods is really beneficial. So these are fruits and veggies along with nuts and legumes. And then we're adding some meats and more amino acids. And so the diet part of this is a really great tool. Not just, we're limiting things. What we're actually doing is we're keeping that process going, pushing forward that detoxification, and keeping things humming along. So that was my brief on ingredients and the 3 phases of detoxification. And so now I'll give you a little snippet on my own personal experience. And that has been good. So I mentioned that it was really easy during week 1. I will say week 2, some cravings kind of started kicking in a little bit. So I'll fully admit my cravings tend to be anything fried potato, like French fries or potato chips. I don't know. That's just my thing. I'm not a sweet person. I'm a salty gal. But other than that, it's been really good. Still focusing primarily on filling up my plate 50 to 75% with veggies. I have been doing a grain kind of per day or something a little more starchy, like a sweet potato, probably once per day. And I've been really utilizing my shakes in the morning for breakfast. 3 shakes a day has been difficult some days. So yesterday I only did 2, even though I'm supposed to be doing 3. So I realize that if I don't get my 3rd shake in before a certain hour, it's so hard for me to motivate to do it because I'm not a night eater. And so having something late in the evening it just really turns me off. So last night I didn't get my third shake in, but that's okay. I just keep going. And I have really found that my favorite way to consume the shakes is literally the powder with ice and, hi Raquel, with water with ice and the powder in the blender. I actually like it in the blender. I get it nice and cold. I add a little extra cinnamon actually, and that's been my most favorite way to consume. And also I'll add a little extra water to thin it out if I'm feeling like I'm not hungry enough for a shake. But I'm getting them in. It's going really well. And then I have a confession to make. I really wanted to do more recipe, try out the recipes in the book for you guys and let you know how I like them. And I haven't done any except for this morning. I found a recipe I had everything for, and it was for a shake. So I'm going to give you my honest feedback on that. I tried the Mango Madness shake this morning, and I'll post a picture of it later. It was a really interesting ingredient list because it's mango and water and ice and the Detox balance, which has a super mild flavor. But then you add unsweetened coconut milk, which is awesome. And then you add turmeric, which I thought was fantastic. And then some sea salt, which is great. You get extra minerals in there, helps kind of with hydration for the body as well. And then cumin powder. And I wasn't so sure, and I said, I got to try it as it's written. And I actually only put half of the cumin in there, and it was still too much for me. So sadly, I didn't love the Mango Madness smoothie because I realized I don't like cumin in high quantities and uncooked. I still like cumin on my roasted carrots and in my taco seasoning, but wasn't such a fan in the Mango Madness. I would make this again, though, and just omit the cumin. So that's my pointer for you today. So anyhow, I hope if you guys are all doing your own, I know some of you are doing the 10-day detox right now, and some of you have joined me on the 28-day. I'd love for you to share your experience with the group and let us know how it's going. And because I was such a slacker with the recipes, I'm going to say if anybody has a recipe in here they really want me to try, I will commit to trying to make one or two of the requested recipes for next week. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I will share a few more tidbits out through the day here on Facebook, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.